Hey everybody, and welcome into my channel. I got ahead of myself. In this video, we're going to be talking about how to pick a market and what you need to look for. So let's hop on over and get started. We're going to be using Propstream, and if you haven't been watching my videos, then you might not be familiar with it, but I will show you how to navigate it. And at the end, stay tuned and we'll talk about that.
Hi guys, welcome to Driving for Dollars in Any Market. In this video, I am going to go over with you all the ins and outs of driving for dollars, both physically and virtually. So let's get started. A little bit about me first. My name is Rhonda Dietz. Go by Ronnie. I am a real estate broker. I've been licensed in the state of Florida since 2004. I've been wholesaling real estate since before that. I have closed hundreds, if not thousands, of deals over the years, and I absolutely love it. So if you have any questions for me, my contact information will be at the end of this video. Please reach out. I'm always happy to help. So with that being said, let's get started with this. Okay, first we're going to go over what is driving for dollars. I know a lot of you may already know what this is, but we're gearing this for everybody. So let me just give you a quick definition on this, and then we can get into the nuts and bolts of it. So driving for dollars is a term that real estate investors use to describe a technique for finding great deals on houses, where you drive around until you find a house that looks vacant or distressed, and then you attempt to buy that home from the owners. Pretty simple, right? Okay, how do I get started driving for dollars? Simple, guys. Jump in your car and drive around the neighborhood. Honestly, couldn't really put it any easier than that. But there are a few nuances that we're going to go over that will help you if you're really interested in trying this technique. I can tell you a lot of investors will tell you it's a waste of time. I've gotten tons of deals from doing this. Okay, so if you're going to do this, there are a few things that you need to keep in your car. Okay, there is nothing more frustrating than driving for dollars, writing down addresses and having to write them on scraps of paper because you forgot to put something in your car, you forgot to take something with you, and then 2 days later you can't find that paper. You've thrown it away, or somebody else threw it away because it was written on the back of a receipt. So keep a notebook in your car or scratch pad or something that you can use just for this purpose so that you can always find it when you're looking for. So a notebook, scratch pad, pens. I always take, or I used to take, my camera with me every time I went out. Now with cell phones being what they are, you don't have to do that. You always have a camera handy. And one of the reasons why I would take pictures when I was driving is that you may get 14 addresses and you don't remember which one's which. And when you're contacting these homeowners, a lot of times they're going to say, well, have you seen the house? And if you can, get back or go right back at them and say, yeah, I saw the house. I saw it's, it's purple or pink or blue or whatever, and the yard's overgrown and there's a broken window, then they take you a little bit more seriously. Okay. So what am I looking for? What are you looking for when you go out there driving for dollars? Let's go over this, guys. And listen, anybody can tell when a house has been abandoned. Okay, but there are some nuanced kind of things that you should be looking for when you're doing this that will help you get more addresses, more people to contact. Okay, so first thing, of course, we're looking for boarded up houses. Makes sense, right? So if the code enforcement's come in and they boarded up the house because it's unsafe, you can still buy that house. A lot of times, even houses on the demo list can be pulled off that list if repairs are made. So don't be afraid to make offers on boarded up houses. So you can see on this one, it's got a little bit of roof damage, got a cinder block in front of the door because maybe the neighborhood kids keep pulling that bottom piece of wood off and getting in there and vandalizing it more. So, and this one, of course, Looks like a haunted house, but we like haunted houses. We did a marketing campaign once that we mailed out saying we buy haunted houses, and we got tons of calls from that. Okay, so the next thing you're going to be looking for, broken windows. Yeah, cracked windows, you can't always see them from the street, but if a house looks abandoned, don't be afraid to kind of drive up in the driveway and look around. Okay, so if you see something like this, it's definitely one you want to pick up the phone and call, or shoot them a letter, or something. Okay, so the next thing you can be looking for is broken garage doors. Okay, if somebody doesn't have the money to fix their garage door, maybe they're having a little bit of financial problem. Even if you have to contact them a couple times to see if they're interested in selling, maybe you plant the little seed in their head and they eventually sell it to you. So here's an example of that. You can see down that bottom piece where it's all bent. A lot of times you won't see the doors off the track like this, but you'll see where somebody's ran into it, or something of that nature. But look for stuff like that. Those are usually pretty good leads. Okay, next, overflowing mailboxes. Okay, we all get tons and tons and tons of junk mail. Probably half the reason that direct mailers aren't working as well as they used to work, because there's so much junk mail being sent these days. So if you see something like this, you know that it sat there for a couple weeks. Probably nobody in that house. Probably something they might be considering getting rid of. Okay. The next thing we're going to be looking for is violation notices. Now there's two ways, at least in my city, that the county will put out violation notices. They will put them in the lawn, similar to this. They don't always use a wood pole. They have those bandit sign sticks these days with the wires, and they'll staple a violation letter, a violation notice to it, and stick it in your front yard and tell you have to cure it by so many days, or you have a court date, all that good stuff, before they put a lien on the property. So you're going to be looking for those. You're going to be looking for notices like this on the door. If you see a house that has 5 or 6 papers taped to the door, probably a really good lead. A lot of times the mortgage companies, prior to somebody going into default and prior to filing the lis pendens for foreclosure, they will send out a field inspector to take pictures of the property and either contact you or leave a note on your door if you're not home. So a lot of times you'll see 5 or 6 of these where it says, please call your mortgage company. That's a good indication that somebody may be having some financial problems. Okay, so keep an eye out for those notices. Okay, next thing we're going to look for is overgrown lawns. Okay, I'm not talking about lawns that are 6 inches taller than they should be. If everything else looks good, chances are they just haven't mowed the lawn yet. Okay, but when you see something like this where the trees are overgrown, I mean, not even looking at the boards on the garage door there, the shrubs are all overgrown, the lawn is overgrown, you know that something's going on with this property. So it makes sense that you would probably want to reach out to them. Same thing here. You can see everything has gotten extremely overgrown. This kind of stuff happens a little bit more up north than where I am in Florida. But as you can see, that would be another one to reach out to right there. Okay. Next thing we're going to look for are obvious repairs. Things that, are just blatantly wrong and need to be repaired. Sometimes people just do not have the money to fix that, and they're getting ready to go down a financial hole and really need some help, and maybe selling the property would take them out of that situation. So you can see here on this one, we're missing a railing on the front. Definitely one you would want to contact. And then you have these kind of crazy things where the front porch is falling down and they jacked it up with a car jack. Definitely another person I would want to contact to see if they were interested in selling the property. Okay, next thing we're going to be looking for is yard and porch debris. I'm not talking about kids' bicycles in the front yard, guys. I'm talking about lots of trash in the front yard. Looks like nobody cares about this property. Probably nobody's It's been there for 2 months, and you get stuff like this. This looks like it was maybe a hoarder house, and everything's kind of overflowing to the outside. So that would be one that I would call. This one here, it's got a couple kids' bikes, but also you got all kinds of stuff in the carport that just looks like they don't care, or they're just kind of giving up. Okay, so next thing I'm going to talk about here is yard signs. There are a couple different types of yard signs that you should be looking for. Okay, I'm not talking about a for sale by Remix kind of sign here, guys. If the property has a real estate broker who has a sign in the yard, chances are they're looking for retail prices for that property, and a lot of the investors have already looked at it and made offers, and unless you catch them at just the right time, you're kind of wasting your time. So let's look at a few that would make sense for you to make offers on. Okay, auction signs. A lot of these properties that are bank owned these days are being sold at auction. Okay, auction.com is just one to name a few. Hubzu. I think Zillow may do an auction now too, but I'm not positive on that. Here's the deal with these auctions. When the bank gets a foreclosure judgment, a lot of times prior to the foreclosure auction, the bank will put these signs out. The bank will put these properties on the auction block to be auctioned after the foreclosure sale, the foreclosure auction with the county. Many times, and I've gotten a couple this way, if you contact the homeowner, you can buy that property prior to that auction, and the bank will have to take it off the auction block. Helps the homeowner because you've now saved them from having a foreclosure on their record, or they'll still have a foreclosure, but it will show that it was paid. And it pays off the judgment, so they're not liable for the money anymore. So it helps them out, helps you out getting a good deal. Just be careful with stuff like that. If it goes through the foreclosure auction, I know in my state, not tax liens, but secondary liens and stuff will drop off. So just make sure you're checking your title on those when you're dealing with something like that. But again, like I said, a lot of times this will help the homeowner out. They'll be extremely grateful, and you'll get referrals from this. Okay, next sign you're going to be looking for is for rent signs, especially ones that look like they've been there for a while. You've got a landlord who may have had a bad tenant and had to evict, so he's a little frustrated there, and now he's having a hard time getting a tenant in the property. So a lot of times they will be willing to sell to you. Good part about the rent signs, contact information for the homeowner is usually right there on that sign, so don't be afraid to give them a call. Okay, and the last sign we're going to talk about is the for sale by owner signs. Do not be afraid to call the for sale by owners. A lot of them are going to be way out there on their price because they're looking at Zillow and they're looking at a lot of these online valuation services. One of the bigger problems with these services is unless you filter them out, these properties are being compared to condos, commercial properties. They're just going in a range. They're not necessarily looking at the property type. So a lot of times these numbers will be really out of whack because of that. Another benefit of using the for sale by owner properties or contacting them for sale by owner properties is you've got their contact information right there. Okay, so there you go, guys. You found one, though. You're out driving around like, oh, wow, look at this property. I found it. Now what do I do? So I'm going to show you what to do next. Okay, make sure when you're out and about doing this, you're writing down those addresses, taking your pictures, taking your notes, and kind of moving on. I'm going to share my screen with you and show you how to look up an address on the property appraiser's website once you have identified a property that you would like to reach out and make an offer on. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to find the county that you're working in. In my case, I'm going to use Orange County, Florida, because I'm right here in Orlando. So you're going to find that county and you're going to search their property appraiser's website. So we're going to go to Orange county property appraiser site. So you can see I use it all the time. So it kind of auto-populates for me. So we're going to pull that up. And I will show you what we do next. Okay, once you get to the county website, you're going to be looking for a property search. As you can see, most of them are pretty easy to find. Ours is right here on the left-hand side. We're going to go to property search. Don't even need to worry about letting the whole thing load, but we can. It's just telling us due to COVID, it's closed. So we're going to go to our property searches, and we're going to do a record search. Okay, I don't have an address in mind, but we're in Orlando, we're in Florida, so chances are pretty good that we're going to have an Orange Avenue, an Orange Road, an Orange Drive somewhere in the county. So you would go to your address. If you have the full address for your property, you would put it in here. I'm just going to put in Orange and see what pops up. Okay, see, let's go with Orange Road. And then we're going to search. Okay, so here's a bunch of orange roads. When we find our address, we'll just say we're using this one. It's a life estate, excuse me, which tells me that this is probably a probate lead, actually. So if we were driving down, we saw this one. Put the address in, 6218 Orange Road, and pull it up. And here's on our website or our property appraiser site, you can see a little picture of the property. You can enlarge it so you can see it a little better. Might actually be a good one to make an offer on. Okay, so getting back to our information here. As you can see, these are the owners of the property, Mary J. Lusk Life Estate. Her heirs are Philip Rollins and Sharon Rollins. This is their mailing address right here. Okay, and if you want to scroll down a little bit, you can get some information about the property. We're going to go to the property features page. Okay, it's going to give us our legal description. It's going to tell us our land square footage. It's a single family home built in 1950. It's going to give us our heated square footage, our exterior construction. And one of the good things about some of these property appraiser websites, not all of them have this, guys, but some of them do. For example, in this one in Orange County, you can actually look to see if there are any permits that have been pulled. Okay, this will help you to determine the age of the roof. It'll help you to determine the air conditioner, if the air conditioner was replaced, when that was put in. It will tell you if there's any open permits or expired permits that are going to have to be dealt with when you're trying to close on the property. And that'll all help you when you're trying to determine your offer. Okay, so here's our address. We're going to search. And as you can see, there's no permits on here. So what that tells me, this property was built in 1950. Most likely it's going to need a roof. And as you can see in that picture, that was in 2007. There was a tarp on the roof right there. So it may or may not need a roof. I mean, I'm hoping since 2007 they would have put a roof on the property, but you never know. So that is how you look up people on the property appraiser's website. And let's move on. Okay, so next we're going to go over how do I find the homeowner. I've shown you how to look them up, okay, with the property appraiser site. Now that you have their address, now that you know who they are, we're going to do a little bit of sleuthing, okay? You can hire a skip tracing service, okay? There are a lot of skip tracing services out there. If you guys need some recommendations, shoot me an email. I'll tell you the ones that I've used and who I think is good. They're going to cost you money, okay? Everything costs you money, guys. You can do this for fairly cheap, but you are going to have to spend some money to wholesale real estate. I don't let anybody out there tell you you can do real estate wholesaling with absolutely zero money. There are marketing costs, there's costs for gas, there's just little fees that are going to add up. So don't think you can do this for zero, but you can do this very inexpensively. Okay, skip tracing can cost you pennies per search. Okay, you just have to find the right one. Okay, another thing you can do is look for these people through social media. Okay, you know where their address is. Look for them on Facebook. Look for them on Instagram, Snapchat, LinkedIn, and probably a dozen other social media sites that I probably am not aware of. Okay, another way to find some of these people is to Google them. Put their name in Google and hit search. A lot of times you will get a phone number, you will get an address, you will get all of that information. If your addresses match up to what you have from the property appraiser site, you know that's the right person, so give them a call. I did not put this on the slides, but if you do get a property that is owned by an LLC or a corporation, you can go to the state's corporations division and search that way. A lot of times you'll find phone numbers there as well. Okay, so we've now talked about physical driving for dollars. Okay, can this be done virtually? Yes, absolutely. Can absolutely drive for dollars in any market. Okay, you don't have to get in your car. You don't even have to leave your house to virtually drive for dollars. So I'm going to show you a little bit about how to do that. Okay, what you need to go virtual with this technique: you need a computer and you need Google Earth. Okay, I use Google Earth. Sorry, tripping over my words. I use Google Earth. I'm told you can use MapQuest. I have never used MapQuest for this, so I don't want to try and show you something that I'm not familiar with, because then we would just be all over the place. So I'm going to show you how to use Google Earth in just a bit. But if you're very familiar with MapQuest and you know how to do that, then great, use that one. Okay. I also use a program called DealMachine. It is a paid program, but when I get to the screen share on the virtual driving, I will show you. DealMachine costs me under $50 a month to use it, and it saves a lot of time. So if you're new to this and you don't want to spend that kind of money, you do not need it. If you see that this is something you're going to be doing a lot of, you might look into purchasing that. Okay, so there's a couple things that you're going to be looking for when you are virtually driving for dollars. Okay, because you're not on the street at first looking for these properties. You're looking for neighborhoods where you're going to be able to get more than one property. So, because any neighborhood you drive in, you're going to find more than one property, but you're trying to get as many as possible. So since you're looking at an aerial view, the easiest way to find these properties, there's two things you can look for. You can look for dirty pools. Okay, and I'm going to show you right here how to recognize that. Okay, you see where the two arrows are there, the orange and the yellow dot. You can see more so around the yellow dot that pool is kind of black. Okay, so those are the things you're looking for when you're looking at a map and an aerial view to find properties that may be distressed. Okay, on the orange dot, you can see a little bit of the black pool, but not quite as much as the yellow dot there. So you're going to be looking for those dirty pools and tarps. Okay, may not work so well in Florida during hurricane season, but if it's December and we're out of hurricane season and you're still seeing tarps on the roof, then chances are pretty good you might want to be contacting these people. So here is an aerial view of what that looks like from above so that you can just start to recognize it a little bit. Sometimes these tarps will be on the back half of the roof. You won't see them from the road. So if you're looking at these views, you can see it. Okay. Okay, for our next little trick here, I'm going to show you how to find properties virtually to make offers on. Okay, what you need to do in order to do this, like I said, you need to have Google Earth or a map program that has aerial views. I believe MapQuest has one as well, but I've personally not worked with that one, so I recommend the Google Earth. It's pretty simple to use, and let's get started. So this is the Google Earth. Once you've got it opened up and ready to go, we're going to pick an area that you're looking to make offers in, or you think would be a good area for you to drive for dollars. Identify the market that you want to work in, and you're going to go to your search bar here. I am going to use Orlando 32808 because I believe we can probably find something there. So we're going to search that. Looked in there. Okay, so like we were talking earlier, you're going to be looking for things that will kind of strike your attention. We're going to be looking for pools that are just really dirty and green and black, or we're looking for tarps on roofs. Let's get rid of this so we've got more of our screen available. Let's find something here. Okay, I think I see a few tarps here. Let's zoom into this one right here. Okay, see, you got the tarp right there. Let's see if we see any pools that need to be addressed in this area. Let me show you. See where my cursor is? You can see the tarp on the roof. You see that real clearly. And then down here in the corner, there's another tarp on this roof. And then over here on the left hand of the screen, there's another one right here. All right. There's one with a pool. See where my cursor is there? You can see there's a tarp on this one. And then there's a pool right here that looks like it needs to be addressed. Yeah, if you zoom in a little bit closer, you can see it's green and kind of gross looking. So this is a good neighborhood to get started in. Looks like this one has a tarp, and this one has a tarp right here. So we're going to start here in this corner. And we're just going to zoom in until we can get to close as we can there, and then we're going to put our little human guy here. Right here. Let's find out what this address is right here. There we go. Ooh, that backyard looks nasty too. Okay, so here's our address, 2074 San Jose Boulevard, Pine Hills, Florida. Kind of zoom in there at the address. Make sure, yep, that's 2074. And we've got a car in the front with a tarp. So we've seen the back. We know that this is one we probably want to make an offer on. So I would write that address down. Now, I'm going to show you another program that I use when I'm doing this to just create a list for myself when I'm doing virtual wholesaling. They do charge when they send out mail for you. So you can choose to do that, or you can choose not to do that. That is completely a business decision for you. But let me show it to you. It's DealMachine. So we'll go over to my DealMachine account here, and I'm going to put in the address. It was 2074 San Jose. There it is. Okay, so we're going to click on her name there, and it's going to pull it up. 2074 right here. Take a minute for my screen to catch up with us. Okay, all caught up. So we got 2074, and if we click on the house there, it's going to pull up the owner of the property, the address. If their mailing address is different, it should tell us that as well. This is telling us it's owner occupied. She bought it in 2011 for $32,000. So what we're going to do is we're going to add the property. And if you do not want to start mailers, do not click this button. If you're just trying to get a list, then just add the property. Okay, so let's go back to Google Earth. And this is how we do it, guys. We're going to kind of go up and down the street and we're going to check it out. So we're going to go down here to the end of the street. There we go. And look, there are some boarded up windows right there in the house right next door. It looks like boarded up windows. Something in those windows. Let me see. Maybe not. Let's see if we can get a little closer around these trees. No. Okay. Well, we know it's right next door to our 2074, so we may want to give them a call anyway. So I would go back on my DealMachine and pin that one as well. Add the property. And then we'll go back to Google Earth. And we're just going to go up and down the street and see what we can see. Like this one right here. Lawn is well manicured. Plants. Everything looks good. Probably not one we want to make an offer on. Okay, so we're going to go down the street a little bit. I'm just going to kind of look. Okay. This is our 2074 where we started. See, the neighbors look good. Cute little puppy dog outside. Go a little further down the street. Nope, looks good. This one's got quite a bit of junk out front, but the yard looks pretty decent, so probably not looking to sell, but that's up to you if you want to give them a call. A little circle here. Okay, go down the street a little bit more. Nope. What I'm looking for here, guys, is some examples to show you of some of the things that we had talked about earlier. Down a little bit more. And this is how you do it, guys. You can actually find deals to make offers on without ever leaving your house. Very simple. Just one deal alone can net you thousands of dollars. So it takes a little bit of time, but driving takes a little bit of time too. So you have to figure out what works for you. This is something you can do in the middle of the night if you're working another job and still find ways to make money. This also works in any neighborhood Anywhere, pretty much, guys. Anywhere. Let's see, we got going down here. No, I had seen a tarp on the roof somewhere up here. It's right around the corner, so we're going to keep going down this street and see what we see. My suggestion would be to do one street at a time, just to make it a little bit easier for yourself. No, those look good. At least for this area, those look good. Okay, here's one we may want to make an offer on. You can see the yard's dead. Doesn't look like it's in great shape. A little overgrown here, really overgrown here. So if you scroll up, 2185 San Jose. So then you can go back to your DealMachine if you're working with DealMachine. And you would go to 2185. Okay, and you would pin that one as well. You can see this is owned by an LLC. They bought it in 2012 for $39,200. Now, if you don't know how to look up LLCs, I will be doing another video on that, how to find the sellers. So be sure and catch that one as well. Okay, so there's another one we'd like to talk to. Let's keep going. And I'm just going to go through this one street, guys. You can rewatch it if you missed anything. You can rewind. You can pretty much see a few houses away which ones look like they're going to be possibly something for you. Try not to go too fast on Google Earth for you guys and make you dizzy. Okay, I don't see anything else on that street. So let's zoom back out. Okay, sorry about that, guys. My computer wasn't cooperating very well. So as you can see, I've zoomed back out. This is the street we were on, San Jose. So I zoomed back out. As you can see, there's one right here that appears to have a pool, which is right near where we were at, and a tarp. So we'll just kind of go on down there and check that one out as well. Ooh, that one's pretty. There we go. I think we ended up at the neighbor's house. On the wrong street. Let's try that again. Nope, that was the right house. Okay. So we're going to 2184 La Havre Boulevard. So we can go back to our deal machine there. Type in that address. There we go. We're going to add that to our list. See that she bought it for $77,000 in 2003. So that's definitely one that we want to contact. Let's see, where is our... Okay, so okay, see, San Jose is the one we were coming up. Shown DealMachine, so where you've got a list of properties. I've shown you how to look these up. Okay, guys, and that's how you find properties on the property appraisers' websites. So play with it a little bit. I've told you it's how you can find these people to contact them. And now what? Now we'll get back to you. The rest of the class. Get out there and make some money. Do not be afraid to call these people.
Okay, guys, so there's two techniques for you to find this. If you don't have access to the MLS, that's okay. You don't really need it. Okay. If you don't have access to Propstream, there is a link below for you. Follow that link and you'll get a free trial. Give it a shot and get out there and make some money. If you like this content or found it useful, interesting, be sure to like and share, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell to be notified when I upload new content. And I will talk to you later, guys. See you in the next video. Have a great day.